Social welfare and social work. Disclaimer. The information presented in this material is intended for educational purposes only and is based on available resources, laws, and professional standards at the time of preparation. While every effort has been made to ensure accuracy, the content may not cover all possible situations or reflect the most current developments in the field of social work. This presentation is not a substitute for professional advice, guidance, or official documentation. Users are encouraged to consult relevant authorities, official sources, or licensed social work professionals for specific concerns or decisions. Table of Content 4. The Philosophical and Value Foundation of Social Work 4.1 Principles of Social Work in the Philippines. Philosophical and Value Foundation of Social Work in the Philippines. Welfare. The social work profession in the Philippines is built not only on skills and methods but also on philosophy and values that guide every decision, action, and relationship. These foundations ensure that social work is more than just helping, it is helping with dignity, justice, and respect for human life. Philosophical foundations. Human dignity and worth. Social work in the Philippines is grounded on the belief that every person, regardless of background, age, gender, or status, has value. Each individual deserves respect, fairness, and opportunities for growth. In practice, when a social worker helps a child from a poor family, they don't just see poverty, they see potential, talent, and a life worth nurturing. Interconnectedness and Bayanihan spirit. Rooted in Filipino culture, the idea of Bayanihan, community unity and mutual aid, influences how social workers see people as part of a larger community where everyone's well-being is connected. In practice, during typhoons, social workers coordinate relief efforts that bring communities together, showing that helping one family strengthens the whole barangay. Social justice and equality. Social work carries a moral duty to challenge inequality and advocate for those who are marginalized or voiceless. It is about ensuring fairness, especially for those affected by poverty, discrimination, or neglect. In practice, advocating for laws that protect children against abuse reflects the profession's stand on justice and fairness. Holistic human development. Social work believes in nurturing not just physical needs, but also emotional, social, and spiritual well-being. Filipinos often value family and faith, and social work embraces these aspects in its practice. In practice, a hospital social worker doesn't only help a patient with medical bills, they also offer counseling, connect them with support groups, and encourage resilience. Value foundations. Service. At the heart of social work is the value of serving others selflessly. Service is not just charity, but an intentional effort to empower individuals and communities. Integrity and professionalism. Social workers uphold honesty, confidentiality, and ethical decision-making. They gain trust by practicing with accountability and fairness. Respect for human rights. Social workers are guided by the Philippine Constitution and international human rights frameworks, ensuring that people's basic rights are upheld in every intervention. Competence. The profession values continuous learning and the use of evidence-based methods. Social workers strive to improve their skills to serve people more effectively. Value foundations. Cultural sensitivity. Filipino social workers recognize the importance of culture, traditions, and values. They respect diversity and adapt interventions to fit local contexts. Real-life example. A social worker in Mindanao helps an indigenous community facing displacement due to conflict. Guided by respect for human dignity and cultural sensitivity, the worker consults community elders, advocates for their rights to land, and helps connect them to livelihood programs. This shows how philosophy and values directly shape practice. It's not only about immediate relief but also about justice, respect, and long-term empowerment. Principles of social work in the Philippines. The principles of social work serve as the compass that guides social workers in the Philippines. They ensure that every intervention is grounded in ethics, respect, and genuine care. These principles are not abstract ideas, they are living values applied daily when working with individuals, families, and communities. First, acceptance. Every person is welcomed as they are, with their strengths, struggles, and unique stories. Social workers avoid judgment and meet clients with openness. In practice, a social worker helping a teenager in conflict with the law sees not only the mistakes made but also the potential for change. Second, individualization. Every person is unique. Even if two clients face the same problem, their experiences and needs are different. In practice, Two families affected by a typhoon may need different support. One may need housing, the other trauma counseling. Third, self-determination. Clients have the right to make choices about their own lives. Social workers provide guidance but never take away the client's power to decide. In practice, when working with a woman experiencing domestic violence, the social worker provides options: shelter, legal help, counseling, but respects the woman's pace in making decisions. Fourth, confidentiality. Information shared by clients is kept private unless disclosure is necessary for safety or legal reasons. This builds trust and respect. In practice, a child in counseling shares family problems. The social worker keeps it confidential, except if the child is in danger and intervention is required. Fifth, controlled emotional involvement. Social workers show empathy and care but maintain professional boundaries to stay objective and effective. In practice, a social worker helping an abused child listens with compassion but also ensures decisions are guided by professional standards, not just personal emotions. Sixth, non-judgmental attitude. Social workers avoid labeling or condemning clients based on their actions, status, or beliefs. Instead, they focus on understanding behavior in context. In practice, a social worker helps a drug-dependent person not by criticizing past choices but by focusing on recovery and reintegration. Seventh, purposeful expression of feelings. Clients are encouraged to express emotions freely, and social workers help them channel these feelings toward healing and growth. In practice, in a grief counseling session, a mother who lost her child is allowed to cry, vent, and express anger because acknowledging feelings is part of healing. Eighth, clients' participation in problem solving. Solutions are not imposed. Clients are partners in identifying problems and creating plans. In practice, a family facing eviction works with the social worker to explore housing options, instead of the social worker deciding alone. Ninth, workers' self-awareness. Social workers must be aware of their own values, biases, and limitations so these do not interfere with their practice. In practice, a social worker with strong religious beliefs must still respect a client's different faith or lifestyle choices. 10th, social justice and advocacy. Beyond helping individuals, social workers in the Philippines are committed to fighting poverty, inequality, and systemic injustice. In practice, advocating for indigenous peoples' rights to land or pushing for better housing policies for urban poor communities. Real-life example. In 2020, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Filipino social workers were at the front line. A social worker assisting a family in Quezon City applied these principles: acceptance and non-judgment, acknowledging the family's struggles without blaming them for unemployment, self-determination and participation, allowing the family to choose between temporary food relief or a livelihood assistance program, confidentiality, respecting the family's privacy while coordinating with agencies, social justice, advocating for inclusion in government cash aid programs. This shows how the principles come alive in real situations, guiding not just professional conduct but also human compassion. Thank you.